Right on cue, I guess, huh? So I've been attending this Monday AI meetup at Georgia Tech, Monday Coffee, and right on cue. Cheers. I prefer to drink coffee all day. No, anyway. It's 11:40, so point of reference. Anyway, yesterday was a pass the aux session. I actually attended because I was curious what somebody else was up to, and I myself had stayed up till like 4 a.m. crushing my Fable account or whatever, and I was inclined to hop on, but then I didn't want to go first, and I was also just like delirious. And so I know how I can be in those moments. And there was also a little bit of a glitch with this image, and so that wasn't working, and I really would prefer to just do a bang out 5-minute demo. So I'm going to do that here and sort of say hello world. I counted up. This would be like take 12 of Hello World, which is a programming joke. But if I pop up in your feed or you're like, who is this dude? I have a very minimal following. I don't really care to be a talking head. I don't really care to be the face of anything, which also cripples me over in the music world, which is my number one passion. My two passions in life have been music and the web. And I was fortunate out of college. I graduated from UGA 06 with a computer science degree. And I stuttered because, wow, that is right around 20. I guess that would be over 20 years ago now, because I think that was May. And time is nuts. I'm about to turn 43. Hopefully everything I've been building in both areas is about to converge, and then it's rocket ship. Long story short, I did Hannon Hill out of college. I was there about a year, and then I went to the contracting world. I had primarily worked with a design agency named M. Stoner, and we would do primarily these big relaunch projects. And in fact, I just saw, what was it, Cornell Business, and I was flashing back because that was my bread and butter for years. And then being a musician, I at the time looked at the fact that I had to do this as a day job as sort of a failure at music. And, music's weird, man. And I don't want to digress. I had a good run in that, and up and down, bell-shaped curve. And I ended up, I had to have a throat operation, blah, blah, blah. Writings on the wall. By then, the Tech Village was a thing. That was sort of the ecosystem I was adjacent to. Hop on the job boards, Hannon Hill's hiring for the services developer. I go back there 2 years, 2017, 2019. I think it's humorous. So 2019, I get let go for not being a culture fit. I swear I make a promise to myself I will never go back. Well, let me stop, because this is the line I don't want to cross yet. But what I will say is, honored my non-compete, wasn't dying to get back in that environment, was looking for a better CMS solution. Everybody's got theirs. I bring 20 years of hardcore project experience, and I've been on the web since, AOL spam mail joke, snail mail, spam mail, when they sent the CDs. To me, the web was always about communication. As an artist, I like to bring a little bit of beauty to it, etc. 2 years, going on 3 years ago now, Hannon Hill reached out about a project that was very technical, and we reverse engineered this WordPress higher ed thing, higher ed e-learning site, and it was a WordPress. Ironically, it was a Wiley product, and I say ironically because my introduction to programming years ago, well, '01, so what, 25? I was on that vaunted 5-year plan at UGA. Don't do it. All right. And Wiley. And anyway, we won't digress. We're doing good. Normally I yap 10 and then have 5 for a demo. So did this really technical project. I had another really technical client project that was in WordPress and ProcessWire. It was COVID. I had COVID. I didn't have the strength to fight back on a weird client demand. And I was like, well, I enjoy challenges. Let's make this work if you're willing to pay. And they were. So, out of that experience, I'm like, what's the system I want to build in and use for the rest of my career, which became this long-winded or whatever journey. And I tried ProcessWire and their custom fields. And then WordPress has a plugin called Carbon Fields, and it could handle the data structures, but then you're back to that classic dated admin UI. And once the structure gets complicated enough, the user experience nosedives. Nobody's going to be excited about that, especially me. And the whole thing was, what can I do to launch, manage websites at scale, and what would be a system where if I get the phone call to come work on, something happens or feature ad or whatever, I'm not like like looking for the gun, you know what I'm saying? And that one could go either way, I guess. Anyway, here we are. And so let's stop talking, because fuck. So yesterday I was yapping, and we have used AI to generate these components. I pointed it at the static theme, and I said, pick the 3 best components for a one-page, what's the freemium model to get people interested? Let's pick 3 components. It picked, this was a great pick. It picked 3 good ones. And so then from that, we have our framework. And my whole thesis, for lack of a better word, I think for the most part, people are getting it wrong, or at least even in my domain, right? Like the higher ed, which is where the bulk of my professional experience was. It's governance, right? You're not letting people come in. You want to enforce a look and feel and a design pattern, and you don't want to let people get out of that. And to me, I think that applies it crossed the board. And so even WordPress Gutenberg, if I hop in there to do something, make an edit, add some content, I don't want to fight the design system. And I even experimented. There was a conversation once back at Hannon Hill with a guy, and we were kind of floating the idea of, what if the build was managed in the CMS too? And I always thought that was an interesting idea. And in fact, this system embraced that at the beginning. And then I realized, well, you're just locking someone into your build. And in fact, I demoed this on another site where I was like, well, the original concept was like, I'm ripping your small site to pull into mine. And there's a lot of overhead if we're going to have to force it through the design system as well. So ditched. Now it works a little more like classical Cascade did. I think, it's inevitable. We talk. There's a passion in that. Anyway, without further ado, I have this AI. I'm calling my AI agent Mark, which coincidentally is my uncle's name. And I guess you're not. There's a chat. We're going to get voice in at some point. But so I'm asking Mark. Oh, I got to refresh. That's why. All righty. So I'm asking Mark. We had already. This yesterday didn't exist, and Mark created this. I said, hey, I want to go after an arborist. I want to sign an arborist to my platform. So I say, hey, let's design the hero for an arborist. It generated all of this. Right now on the inside, I got to figure out I'm not going to waste time, but the concept again was, hey, these guys bootstrap theme land kit made a really nice theme. We want to use that. And we'll change the color scheme and we'll change some fonts. And then after that, it's like, what makes you unique? It would be the job you do, how you do it, your voice, your photos, your videos. But this was a really great theme package. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Design aesthetics change, but for the most part, go grab a newspaper. We're using, it's the same concept. So right now, what I wanted to demo, and I have no idea if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to tell Mark, hey, Mark, we're going to do another vertical business. How about a home cleaning service? I need you to copy the current header so we can maintain it. I need a new hero for the cleaning service. And if you can, grab another image from Howdy. Let's see what happens. I'm going to top off. I'll be right back. All right. It's about 30 seconds later. Let's see what we got. Header copy, new hero, image. I don't have the ability to browse, so I didn't pull an asset. That's fine. Check that out. They know what I'm saying. See, this happened yesterday and I didn't think it worked. Oh, wow. Oh, hold up. See? All right. All right. Well, all right. Cool. Did it fix it? No. All right. Yeah, we got to figure out why it does this. All right, anyway. Hey, move fast, break things.